Hi, I'm Patrick Mulcahy. I'm the producing artistic director at Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival. Before we get to an interview that we think you will enjoy with one of our actors, we want to give a quick shout out to our first responders, many of whom are our patrons, our volunteers, and members of our community. To you, we as a society owe you everything. Thank you so much. We are at work right now, readying a program of videos and interviews and memories and offerings, which we'll be rolling out in the coming weeks. And so today, as a way of continuing to fulfill our mission to enrich, to inspire, to engage, and to entertain, we have a little teaser to initiate that program. And so here, enjoy an interview with one of your favorite actors and mine, and a dear friend, Greg Wood. So, Greg, thank you. Thank you for taking a few moments with us today.
Yeah,
And just let me start with how are you? How's the family as you are in this mode?
it's we're great. I think the first month we spent really trying to do like family time. After dinner we would family movies and stuff like that. But after a month and a half, almost 2 months, it's like no, go to your separate corners, find what you want to do, and just don't bother me because
Yeah,
I'm going crazy otherwise. I think the person who's suffering the most is Laura. She's 12 and
your daughter.
you know what I mean? She's what she wants to be is with her friends. And she's got a little bit of cabin fever right now, and so I think she's still trying to figure out exactly what it is she can do that would keep her interest for a longer amount of time by herself. And it's tricky. And being 12 years old, she's come to realize that the people she wants to spend the least time with are her parents. So she's totally stuck. And we both feel sorry for her, Susie and I, and we try to understand, but she really is. And I think everything will be fine. And I think once the weather too starts to get consistently better, she can get out and do a couple. She's had a couple of social distancing things with her friends, and I think that'll happen more frequently as the weather gets nicer. So
Great, great, right. I'm sure she's the only 12-year-old around who's grown tired of her parents. So I don't
no,
know.
yeah, she's the only one. Yeah.
So, as I got ready to do this little interview with you, it occurred to me that we're going to talk about, maybe a favorite moment or two at PSF
Mm.
that you've had. Uh, but interesting to note that you and I, of course, have known each other a little longer than PSF has been in existence, going back to you and I worked together as actors at another theater in a
Oh,
Shakespeare.
we're in the trenches. We
Yeah,
were in the
yeah,
trenches with that one.
yeah. 1989, 31 years ago, you and I first worked together.
89. Oh my
Yeah.
Lord.
So it's fun. If either one of us could have known that 31 years later we'd be doing this, that would have been exciting.
And it
So
was Shakespeare.
yes, right,
It was
another
Shakespeare.
play,
So I mean
right?
that's nice. That's
Absolutely, absolutely. And
serendipitous. Is that the right word? Something
right,
like that.
and then so at PSF, I did. How many plays have you been in? I did a quick count. I came up with 31. What do you?
I think that's about right. I was trying to count it too. It was I think it was 12th night. It was the first 12th night that PSF did. And what was that, 93?
93.
93. Right. Because I remember Suzanne O'Donnell is a good friend. And I remember the summer, I guess it was in 92, or I saw her sometime in 92. And I said, what were you doing? How was your summer? And she goes, oh, great. I was working. I did Romeo and Juliet at the Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival. And I went, what? Where's that? And she said, it's in Allentown. I said, it's in Allentown? What? When? And she said it was the first year, and
Right.
she'd been a student at DeSales. And so the next year is when I auditioned for the 12th night. And so I wanted to make sure that I got in on that. And it's literally been ever since then. There's been a couple of summers that I've missed along the way. Some of them I will always regret missing, but for the most part, it's been it, it's been sort of a wonderful sort of home, summer home for us, for me, and now for us. So
Yes, right, absolutely.
yeah.
So any when you look back across those 31 productions, any favorite moments emerge?
Well, I was trying to sort of wrap my mind around because there's been so many, and I don't mean to sound, oh, Lord, there's been so many, but there really have been so many. I think the most moving moment for me was when we did Cyrano,
Hmm.
and my eldest daughter, Alex, who hadn't seen my work in about 8 years, was the last time she actually came to see a show that I did. And because I think being raised with theater parents, you're like, last thing I want to do is go to the theater, Dad. I know, great, fine, good, you're an actor. But she came to see Cyrano, and Susie actually surprised me and brought her. And afterwards, I saw her in the lobby, and she was clearly moved, and in a way that I hadn't seen before. And she said to me, "Dad, now I know why you do what you do."
Hmm. Hmm.
And it just kind of went, "Oh my Lord!" It meant a lot, And really, oftentimes, I remember when my dad came to see Hamlet the first when I did it in '96, '5, '6, one of those years,
Wow. Yeah.
and my father, not a big theater person, and certainly not a big Shakespeare person, just a regular blue collar, hardworking guy. And last thing he wanted to do was come and see Shakespeare. But he came to see Hamlet because it was Hamlet. And afterwards he goes, "I understood every word."
Hmm.
And he really liked, and I was like, boy, it's not an intimidating thing when it's done well. And I think, and I don't mean to be blowing Pennsylvania Shakespeare's Festival's horn here, but I think one of the things that we do well is tell those stories. Because there's just, and it's one of the reasons that we all come there. I mean, nobody's coming there to be famous, to get noticed, to get this or that. But we all come back because, well, we love Shakespeare, but we also enjoy each other, and we like telling those stories. And I think the audience knows that. I've always had that sense, that feeling from the audience, that they get it because we enjoy what we're doing. And I love that about coming up there that in the summer. I really do. I love the camaraderie and the people and the getting this thing together in what seems in just way too short a time. Um, you know how that is. But it always, what's that line from Shakespeare in Love? I don't know. I don't know. It's a miracle, or I don't know. It's a mystery.
It's a
Whatever.
mystery.
I don't know. How's that going to happen? I don't know. It's a mystery.
That's right.
But it does. And I think that's the thing, that it's those moments. And of course, they're the great funny moments, like we were talking when we did Moon for the Misbegotten, and that huge moon had been rising through the entire production, and it got to its apex, and we were in a big moment in the play, and it just crashed to the floor behind us. We just heard, because it was on a winch, or winch, and
Winch.
you could hear it. It was up, and you could hear it go, and it just went, and it just. So those things that they're the ones you kind of remember as far as from the productions.
You reminded me the other day of a favorite moment of yours from the production of Antony and Cleopatra we did together in
That was your
2005.
moment. That wasn't my moment. That's your face when you realized the elevator wasn't going to happen.
It was never going to work. So we worked around it. We did what you do, right?
That's right.
There we
It's
were
mystery,
asking
and it worked.
ourselves,
And it
how's this
worked.
going to happen? I don't know.
Lights, a
It's a
couple of
mystery.
drapes, a little lights. It's like, don't look here. We're gone.
We'll just carry that stuff in. Yeah.
It's very magical. It was magical.
Well, Greg, magical is a great word to describe your run so far at PSF, 31 years. Thanks for sharing some insights with us, some perspectives, some memories.
Yeah.
And these will help sustain us a little bit until we can get back on the boards.
No, boy, that's, it couldn't happen too soon. It's really, you when you're done with it, when you can't do it, you you realize, number one, that you do take it for granted. And number two, you realize how much you want to get back and do it, because it becomes part of you. I don't want to say that I'm an actor, therefore that's who I am, but there's a certain element of that because what we do is so personal, and our art or whatever you want to do is not on a canvas. It's not a piece of clay that you put together. It's literally you stepping out there and hoping that works. And it does become something that needs to be fulfilled on some level. And when it's not, and when you know that you can't, it's hard. It's hard to sort of go, okay, it'll be all right. It'll be there. So,
Right.
but it will. Of course, it will.
You're feeling it. Your family's feeling it.
Mm.
We're feeling it. Our patrons are feeling it. But this little chat helps us to bridge the gap a little bit till the next time we can do it all together.
Well,
So
I'm happy to do it anytime. Anytime.
great.
So,
Thank you, Greg.
oh, you're so welcome. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
See you.